Deuces, what's up? Welcome to the 50th episode. Yes, I said that correct. The 50th, if I can talk today, 50th episode of the Sloppy Syndicate. It is a pleasure to have you here. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And thank you for all the folks listening to the podcast in the future. It is much appreciated. I fell in love with this band, Fox Lake, hardcore hip hop based out of Denver, Colorado. And I wanted them on for my 50th episode because I love this band that much. So without further ado, let's bring in. What is up? How we doing?
What's up? Good, man. How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I love the music. Can't stop listening to it. And wow, you guys got some good shit. So the intro there is Dog Eats Dog, which comes out 5/20. So just around the corner. And that's going to be obviously on all major streaming platforms. The video will be out on YouTube, so make sure you check that out. Hell of a video. And folks, if you're listening to the podcast, you missed the short clip of a sneak peek. So there we are. So tell us a little bit about the band. I know you guys got started in 2017, and you guys kind of walked that, what's the word? The two polars, you walked the two lines between the genres, and then 2020, you had some singles. 2021, and then 2020, you guys came out swinging. You said, "Hell with this, we're going hard," and you went hard. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. So, I think pretty typical of a band's. We were all in local bands here in the Denver scene, and when this band breaks up and this local band breaks up, and some people are done, some people are getting married, kind of how it goes, and so we found each other through that. We were all in different bands. We kind of came together, and at that time, I think it was Bring Me the Horizon's That's the Spirit album, and had like just come out, and I don't know if it was a quote from them or somebody, but they said something along the lines of, "We want to be the heaviest thing that non-metal musician or non-metal fans listen to." And so we were like, that sounds good. Like we could actually maybe like do something on this. And we wanted to do something that wasn't just kind of like the same metalcore that we'd been doing for however long. And so we were like, well, what's our version of that? And I'm a big hip hop fan, and we all like rap in the band, but me and the guitarist Brandon, we really, really like hip hop, and also grew up on Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Papa Roach. Rage Against the Machine is a huge influence for us even still. And so we were like, well, let's try to do our version of that. Let's take like the hardcore we like, kind of metalcore stuff, and let's try to blend it with some hip hop. And I think, kind of to your point, it took a long time. Those genres are just like, in a lot of ways, they're so far apart that I think it took a while for us to kind of find like, how do we merge those without being, cringe or being like giving the listener whiplash on things. And so I think we're still trying to find that balance of what that is, but we definitely are more, hardcore than we are. But those little hip hop elements, I think, really are fun for us to write. It just like kind of changes things up.
Yeah, and for sure, I dig it. Once you get some of them hip hop lyrics in there, and so definitely pleasure in my ear holes. My ear holes are moist. I've had an eargasm listening to Fox Lake.
We want to please those ear holes,
right? So the best way I can describe the band, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you put Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot, and Beastie Boys, they had a wild orgy, and here comes Fox Lake.
That's perfect. That is like, I guarantee you, if the other guys were on here right now, we'd be like, that is exactly what we want.
That's your new slogan. These three bands had an orgy and we came. No, right?
We were born.
But
yeah, we actually start our set with a Beastie Boys sound clip. And we've thought about covering Beastie Boys. We covered a part of a Slipknot song, and we have also covered a Rage Against the Machine song. So you're right on.
Awesome. So I know good taste when I hear it. So there we go.
Well, you're an
Um,
expert. Yeah, of course.
so your debut album, Silence and Violence, came out in 2020. That was a huge success, over 1 million plays. Yeah, it blew up. So tell us a little bit about the writing of that album, and then the gratification that you got when it just exploded.
Sure. Yeah, so that record was about, when we got together in 2017, that was a lot of riffs on that record and songs, kind of like, the real skeleton of a lot of those songs were previous songs and things we even started way back in 2017. And between live shows, local shows for 3 years, and like recording things and being like, we hate it, and all this, that record is kind of an accumulation of those 3 years. And so that was, we are still super proud of that record. But I think coming off of that record, we sent that record out, and we got a small record deal for that one. And it kind of like, it came out during COVID. So it even took us, I think, about a year to even start playing it live. So even though it came out in 2020, I think, when we tour around and play shows, it still feels really new. A lot of people, it's still their first time hearing it. But the challenge was coming out of that, where like we had 3 years to write, 8 songs. And now what? Now we got, 6 months to like follow that up and grow. And yeah, that was just something that was really cool. This kind of been a growing experience, and it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, the reception on it has been overwhelming. It's been amazing.
What's up, Vix? Thanks for joining us, folks. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to throw them in the chat. We'll get NJ Sweezy to answer some questions if you have any. And yeah, I mean, you've cultivated fans from across the nation. 20 just on Spotify alone, 25,000 plus listeners a month. Code Name, Tunnel Vision, 500,000 plays. I mean, phenomenal success, phenomenal. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm kind of dumb. I'm white trash Donnie, so give me a second to think of the word. The fans are really embracing it. The fans are loving it. So
Yeah, yeah, and we love that. Like I said, we were really overwhelmed by um, the reception on that, and because, like I said, we really were like a true local band in before the pandemic, and we'd kind of gained some traction in the local scene, and it was cool kind of coming out of the pandemic, and just like, even though, not playing any shows or whatever, but just our first show back and like getting on some tours and stuff, it was really cool to see, like, just that people enjoyed the music. It's not like we had been playing shows and people had seen us a bunch. It was like just the record that people enjoyed that brought them out, and that is yeah, that was super gratifying.
yeah, I mean, some of the songs are so hard it makes you want to punch your mom in the face. So you know, please don't do that. I do not condone that,
Yeah,
but
we don't condone it, but we're
you
not
know,
like, if you want
it definitely slaps. That's for sure. And man, the Dog Eat Dog is. You think Silence and Violence is good? Wait till Dog Eat Dog single comes out. Watch the video. That is gonna really blow your ear holes. Yeah, it's, it's just your ear holes are gonna squirt on this one. So,
yeah, this is
uh,
a squirter for sure.
but yeah, I'm super pumped for you guys. Now, Dog Eat Dog, is that leading into an album at some point, or is that just a single you're dropping? Because I kind of know, or kind of notice a lot of the bands are doing one, two, three singles, and then they drop the album just to kind of keep the fans engaged and kind of gain momentum.
Yeah, so there we have some things in plan. I don't want to like give away too much. It's not part of an album, but it will be part of a set of 2 songs, kind of like our own little split. So we have, and that's on like the cover too, the actual album art. So this basically will be like one song, and then I believe like in July, we will be putting out the second part of. So it's not like a second part of the song. It's just another song. And so I think instead of kind of that, you see those like single, 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 and then the release with the singles on it.
Right.
Instead of that, I think we're thinking of like, we're going to do 2 songs that are pretty close to each other, like 6 weeks apart, and they'll be their own little releases. And then those may or may not, end up on like a bigger record somewhere down the line.
And being such a diverse group, kind of mashing two genres into one. Um, where did you get your musical influences from growing up as a kid? Or, what kind of pushed you to pursue, the mashup?
There's a lot. I think that's what's something really cool for us is that we still do write super old fashioned to the point where we have band practice. I still to this day, we have band practice in my basement, all 4 of us, and that's how we write the songs. Like our guitarist will come to us with a riff, or we'll demo out with our kind of producer, and he's another band called Mugshot, which is such a cool band. Um, but if, for the most part, when like writing songs, we're writing like all 4 of us together in a room. And so yeah, it's those influences come from a lot of different places. I know me and the drummer, my brother, we grew up really conservative, kind of sheltered, and so we could only listen to Christian music, but we love POD. Like, we could listen to POD, and obviously, you have your Under Oath and your whatever, but I remember a POD, like POD still slaps. The Satellite album is still just one of my favorite albums. So I think a lot of times I kind of go back to that. And then obviously, Linkin Park, things like that. I think really influenced. Rage Against the Machine is the big one, but that really influenced us. And we still pull up those. When we're writing together, we pull up those songs and listen to it and be like, "What did they do here?" Or the big question we always ask is, "Why does this groove?" Like when you listen to a song, it's not just like, "Oh, this is heavy." We kind of feel like we could write just heavy beat down music if we wanted, but what we really want is like something to groove, something that has like rhythm. And so we always ask like, why does this groove? How can we like implement something like this? And honestly, a lot of that comes from hip hop too, like Notorious B.I.G., stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was super impressed just reading about the band and listening to the band. You guys have collabed with some huge names, Gideon, Kane Hill. And that's huge,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the Gideon guys are super awesome. Our drummer, like I said, my brother is like Gideon super fan, and so he's actually cultivated a relationship with them just by going to every show they've ever played here. So when it came time to be like, hey, who do we want for this song? We were like, oh, that'd be sick to get Dan on, and he hooked it up, and just because Griffith has kind of known them from going to their shows all the time. So that was super cool. And then, Whit from Cane Hill was also really awesome. I think somebody on the label we were at at the time, like knew him, or a manager had talked to him, and he was super easy to work with and sent back like the dopest guest spot. So we love guest spots. That's another thing too about like rap albums is that there's full of guest features. And so we've always said when we, for our records, like we always want guest spots, like as many as we can, because that feels kind of like that hip hop community.
Yeah, and I've always been a fan of the mashups, crossing genres, a little bit of hip hop with the rock, and I'm going to tell you right now, you as a band have it. Like your stage like you're ready to go. You just need to hit the stage and hit it running. So the latest video, there's some may say it's a little risque with the guns and things like that. Doesn't bother me, but what's does that symbolize anything? Like what's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We've shown it to a few people too, and there's like wow, that's but it does like have a meaning. The the Dog Eat Dog song, um, it's kind of about a multitude of different things, but the main thing that I wrote it about was just the way kind of people talk to each other in this day and age, and the just how, not all the time, but how sometimes, discourse and conversations or debates on like, multifaceted, complicated arguments can get boiled down to like fuck you or something. And it seems like more than ever, there's like two bases or two sides to every argument that are just fighting each other. And so we wanted a feel of like kind of this guerrilla warfare, brother on brother um, symbolism in the video to kind of amplify that. So it comes off like kind of hard and it's cool, but it really does, it does kind of symbolize like the social warfare, I guess you could call it, that the song is about.
What's up, E? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I know people that, families that don't talk anymore over the dumbest stuff, so it
Yeah.
kind of fits in with the song. You know, we all can have our own opinion. We all can respect each other and we can still be friends. I mean, simple as that. So,
Yeah,
kind of,
we've experienced that with our own families too. And so it does, it kind of, it hits close to home. And obviously there's like a fine line to everything. And we're not trying to make any like political statement by any means, but the just kind of the echo chamber on your phone and being entrenched in one camp and stuff is it can get divisive and at times. And I think I just think, it was something that interested me that I've been seeing socially, and that's kind of what I like to write about, and then take that and be like, instead of just maybe coming out and saying it, like what's kind of a mean old hip hop bravado, fuck you metal way of kind of spinning it.
yeah, definitely. The point comes across, especially if you listen to the lyrics and the video. I love the video. So, I almost
Yeah,
went and got a
shout
ski
out
mask.
Tyler, our buddy Tyler. If you on our Instagram page, we tag him in all the stuff. But he is a god. He did that. We did that in like a day and a half, and he crushed it.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job on it. And I was gonna go get a ski mask and wear it, but I was like, yeah, it's too hot in Florida,
It's
so
too
I'm not
hot.
gonna do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Where
But
you at in Florida?
Orlando, so
Okay.
just outside of Disney World,
Ooh, I love
the
Orlando.
happiest place on earth if you don't live here. So
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. People who, a lot of people from Florida are like, eh. But every time I go, I'm like, man, I would live here so quick.
and it's crazy. I would like literally. It sounds stupid, not stupid. Whatever. It's something I would leave my career. I would, just something so simple like Colorado. I love Colorado, the landscape. I ski. I grew up north, so I ski,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and I just like I could go there, like live in a little shack, like be a ski bum all day long.
yeah,
Drive the snowcat at night for a job. You're under the stars, listen to music, whatever. Wake up, go skiing. I mean, that would be like the simplest, like most
yeah.
pleasurable life I could imagine. So,
Dream. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
if you ever want to switch, we can switch. You come to Florida, I'll take over Denver.
I'll
So,
think about it. I'm not saying no for sure.
but yeah, so Bobby, if you're listening, I am sending this band to you for sure. And Bobby is the host of the Space Zebra Show. You guys got it. There's no question asked, but no ifs, ands, or buts. If Bobby sees it, he's gonna fall in love. So I'm gonna send it over to him
Yeah, check
as
it out, dog.
well. So, all right. So let's see. My internet was going a little slow. I had to dial up real quick. So, but yeah, man, I'm kind of at a loss for words because you guys are just so damn good.
Thanks, man.
So, what's in the future? Do you guys have any tours coming up? Any shows?
Yeah,
Where can we find the band at?
yeah. So we have a big tour. I mean, we have a longer tour. I think it's about 3 weeks that we start in Yuma, Arizona on June 4th. And we play kind of like we go along south in the U.S., Texas, and then we kind of come up east and we end in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, I think that's about 3 weeks.
Any
there.
shows in Florida?
No shows in Florida. We want to get to Florida. We do Texas, and then I think our next day is like Little Rock, and then we do like Memphis, and then like Virginia Beach, and go up the East Coast from there. But no Florida. We want to get to Florida so bad. We have so many people that are like, come to Florida, come to Florida, come to Florida, and we just
be careful when you come to Florida. The saying is, come on vacation, leave on probation. So just be careful. So,
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's the saying down here. So just be careful while you're here, especially if you're in Polk County. They don't play. So
okay, that's good to know.
But yeah, so what has been one of your wildest experiences at a show or even a tour, festival? I mean, I know you guys throw down pretty hard, so you guys have to have some crazy stories.
Yeah. Oh man, let me think. I mean, we have some story, like we have like kids who have like lost teeth at our shows and things like that. One of the funniest things that ever happened to us, it was on our first tour. It was like totally DIY. It was booked by a guy who like the day before the tour like got arrested for like credit card fraud or something. So we didn't even have like a tour manager. We didn't know like where we're going. So we show up to this place in I wish I could remember. Not Kansas City, not St. Louis. Man, I wish I could remember. Omaha, maybe? I don't know. But it was a bar called Badass Renee's. And the sign outside was just the acronym for Badass Renee. So it just said bar. And we load up, and there's like 2 bands, I think. And we had like, the vans, and like we pull up and stuff. And we got in there, and they legitimately were like, we're here for the show. And they said to us, what show? And we're like, are you serious? We just have 8 hours from Denver to like come here. And so they basically like kind of set up a stage, and we played to like 3 old people at this dive bar. And but they did have a local band play too. And the local band was a 5-piece, but only 2 of them showed up, but they still played.
And that's talent.
And it was talent is one way to put it, but it was so funny. It was such an experience. And it was our first show we'd ever done out of state too. So we were like, oh, is this what it's gonna be like?
Right. Like if this is what it is, I don't want it. Don't sign me up.
Let's pack up and go home. No, it was really funny. It was hilarious. But I don't know any like, you have your regular kind of hardcore stuff of people getting hit and whatever, but nothing. I don't think anything like too crazy yet. But there's definitely some funny moments.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy moments at shows. So they used to do I don't know. We were in high school, and it was all the local bands would play at like Hard Rock Live. It was like $5 tickets, for high school kids and stuff like that. So it was I don't know. There's like 5 or 6 bands that would play like once a month. And I can't remember for the life of me what the name of it was. And I've seen some crazy, like, we're all young kids in high school, and like, people, these, obviously our parents aren't there. Our parents drop us off. We go to the show, and, you got people banging in the corner. I mean, I've seen so much stuff. It's like, I guess that's the only place you can do it if when you're that young. So
yeah, dang.
But yeah,
no, seen that.
I was sheltered, when I lived up north, definitely 2 different worlds. I moved down here. I went buck wild. I was like in heaven. I was like, oh, we don't do this back home, but all right.
Yeah. You're just free, right?
And I mean, I had a car. I could do anything. I mean, and sorry, Mom, I'm putting you on the spot, but my mom was a little too lenient with me. She would ground me for a day, and then the next day I was free to essentially do whatever I wanted.
That's not a bad grounding.
That's why I turned out to be a shithead. So, but so who, if obviously it can't be the Beastie Boys, can't be Rage Against the Machine or Slipknot. So past or present, who would you want to collab with, or share the stage with, or even go on tour with?
Okay, I got one for you. It's a band called Royal Blood. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not. I'm going to write that down so I can check it out, though.
They are they're one of my favorite bands out right now for sure. But just the grooviest music I've ever heard. It's two guys, and they're from the UK, and they're two guys, and one of them plays bass and one of them plays drums. And then the bassist uses like this huge pedal board, but he basically just octaves his bass guitar. So he's playing the guitar and bass, and he sings. And then the drummer, drums. But man, that band just absolutely hits. Like they're so cold. And yeah, I love that band. So to me, especially if we're going to collab with somebody, I would want to like write some riffs with them. But I mean, man, if they took us on tour, they're a huge band. But if they took us on tour, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a loaded question I like to ask because I mean, I can't. I mean, I couldn't pick anyone. There's probably 50 people I'd want to do something with, but
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
it's just like I like to throw that little spin in there to just see what people say because we all have 100 answers on that. So
No, yeah. I mean, obviously, like Bring Me the Horizon or something like that would be a dream come true. But I also feel like more people, like I said, Royal Blood is a huge band, but I think more in the UK, and I just feel like more people need to listen to them because they are unreal. I think all their albums are so good. They're going a little bit more like pop produced commercial now, but it still rips. It's still so good.
seeing this, folks, this is what we call musical networking. So Royal Blood, learned a new band today. I'll go check them out. And then there you go. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So where can we find Fox Lake at? Do you guys have merch? How can we support the band?
Yeah. So the number one thing, follow us on Spotify or Apple Music, and then follow us on social media. It's Fox Lake CO for Colorado across all our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then go to foxlakeband.com for links to our our videos, links to our YouTube channel. All our merch is on there. We have tight merch, so go buy some merch, and all our tour dates will be listed on there as well. And that's the foxlakeband.com.
All right. And do you have CDs, cassettes, vinyls, anything like that? Hard copies that we can purchase?
We don't have anything like not like that. No hard material of the music. We've always wanted to do vinyls, but when we were looking to do vinyls for our Lady Luck EP, which real quick, the Lady Luck EP, I still feel like is some of our best music, even better than Silence and Violence, but it just didn't get the reception. So if anybody's listening, go give that one another try because I think it's tight. But no, when we were trying to print vinyls, it was during COVID, and the vinyl thing was like you just couldn't get it at all.
Yeah, now it's crazy expensive to get them pressed. So
yeah, and I think it's still that way. It's like super expensive. And then when we were printing CDs or thought about it, it was like the only place people would buy it is online, and because we weren't playing shows, it was during COVID. And so we were like, why would we print CDs, when people could just listen to it for free? Right. So that's not something we've done, but we definitely want to do a vinyl. That would be, I personally just want my own band's vinyl. So we might print them just for me. Who knows?
See, I'm kind of biased when it comes to that because I like to collect like the nostalgia items, the cassettes, the vinyls. I like to have the hard copies because that's not something you get anymore, with Spotify and all these different, streaming apps. It's like you just hit the button and go. No, I want to put it on the damn record player and watch it spin. And
holding that vinyl casing too is like a holy moment, like taking it out, putting it on the record player. I feel that.
And I go thrifting every week. I'll hit somewhere, I'll just go around town, Orlando, surrounding areas, and I'll just go cassette shopping, NES shopping, vinyl shopping, anything that catches my eye. Like I just when I went up to Virginia, I got a 1961 Grundig, and I just had to have it. I was like, how many times do you see a radio that old? And I'm like, nope, it can go in the studio. I'll
Yeah,
never play it, but
but
it's a
it's
cool piece.
there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a like no, I totally get that. I totally get that. I am I have this record collection that I've been collecting for years. But I've never had a record player, so I've never actually played the records. And the reason is because I know when I get like a record player, like a vinyl player, I need to have my ideal setup, which is going to run me like thousands and thousands of thousands of dollars. Like I'm not going to get like, oh, I want to play my record, so I'll just get like, even like an Audio Technica and just run it through, like its internal preamp into some monitors. Like I want a full like setup. You know what
Old
I
school
mean?
setup.
Yeah. So it's been like this dream. I'm still chasing it, man. I gotta get some dough.
Yeah, I remember growing up, my grandma had it was probably 6 foot long, like solid oak. Obviously it doubled as a like a countertop or not a dresser. What am I thinking of? Like a little nook or whatever.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the middle of it opened up to the record player, and I had the speakers down on the bottom. It was super cool. Obviously I didn't appreciate it at the time. Back then I was like, oh, this is what that was normal back then. Now it's like, man, that'd be so cool to have it.
That would be so cool to have.
And
Yeah.
I found one similar when I was out like antiquing and thrifting. And it was like $4,000. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
as
I was
cool
about
as
to
it would
say, I
be.
wonder if you got that, how much it would go for right now.
Yeah, as cool as it would be, I'm not spending 4 grand on a record player.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm just waiting to get that metalcore money so I can buy a record player, man.
I need to do like some barn finds. Some of these people find some crazy stuff in the barn finds. I never have any luck, but then again, we don't have a whole lot of barns around Orlando either. So,
Yeah, that was about to say.
but
Probably have footage on those.
it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We're
Yeah, man,
about
I
ready to
appreciate
wrap
it.
up.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks for checking out the
Absolutely.
music.
For
Like,
sure. I love it. I dig it. You'll probably see like 6,000 plays. That's probably me because I just leave it on repeat
perfect.
and just jam out to it.
Run it up.
So,
Yeah.
folks, this is Fox Lake, based out of Denver, Colorado. They're hardcore hip hop, so metalcore, I guess you could describe it as. So, again, if Beastie Boys, Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot had an orgy or had a baby, you would get Fox Lake. So definitely check them out, show them some love, follow them, listen to them. May 20th, Dog Eat Dog comes out with a super cool video as well. So make sure you check that out. And I hope we pleasured your ear holes a little bit here today. But if not, go listen to Fox Lake. They will totally give you an eargasm. So be forewarned. And any final words from you, NJ Squeezy?
No, man, I really appreciate it. One quick thing. We are running, so Doggy Dog comes out in 3 days from today on the 20th. So we are still running a pre-save campaign. So if you or anybody else listening wants to pre-save the song, go to our Instagram. We got the links there, and it's a raffle. So if you pre-save the song and follow us on Spotify and share the video, you get all these points, and then we're giving away a bunch of free merch for whoever pre-saves it or whatever. So go enter the raffle. That helps us by pre-saving it, and you get free merch.
Well,
So
all right. So I'm going to have to go enter that.
yeah, it's easy too. It's super easy.
Awesome. So again, pleasure to have you on the show. You're more
Dude,
than
thank
welcome
you
on the
so
show
much.
anytime. Keep rocking it out. Fox Lake is going big places for sure. Heard it here first on the Sloppy Syndicate. They are definitely going to blow up for sure. So until the next time, folks, I hope you enjoyed the 50th episode. And remember, keep it sloppy.
Cool. Peace.